Hello and welcome to the Why Not Today podcast. My name is Leslie and I'm the host of the podcast. And this podcast was started to celebrate people who have been courageous and said, why not today? I started this podcast in honor of my father, Patrick Kane, who often did say, why not today? I am based in Reston, Virginia, a planned community right outside of Washington, D.C. And thanks for joining us today. And I'm excited for my guest, Tara Wall. She's done all these cool things, and I love how we met. And I always talk about connections. And if you listen to any of the episodes, I spent a lot of time at Smith Mountain Lake, and I was there having coffee with a friend, and she had a really cute bracelet on. And I asked her where she got it. She told me this cute little store called Consider the Field. Never heard of it. And it was one of those days that I need to take a break from work, and I just went in there and met Tara and just started connecting with her, and then went and met with her another day. And I just love all the things you're doing to help women, support women, so many causes that are dear to my heart and so many connections we had. So I'm super excited to have you on here to partner with you. And we'll talk about, as we go through the episode, some different ways you can give back and help. And as we're approaching the holiday season, it's always a good time to be able to make a difference. So Tara, why don't you introduce yourself, a little quick fact about you, and a fun fact. And the other kind of fun thing too is that we connected and figured out, if you know me at all, that I have this connection to Buffalo, New York. I was born there, and I always meet people. And Tara is from Batavia, New York, which is a planned community, which my dad helped redevelop. And I have a good friend from there. So small little world. So
yeah,
go ahead
and
and introduce yourself.
Yeah, that was my fun fact. So.
Oh no.
That's okay.
You do it too.
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, that was my fun fact. I am one of three girls raised in Western New York. And so my husband and I moved down here 10 days after we got married. And that was over 22 years ago. And we thought we were only coming for 6 months. We were going to Bible school, and I was going to get all straightened out and go back to state college in New York. And here I am finishing college at Liberty University online 22 years later. So, wow. Yes.
So, and I know you are a busy woman and have lots going on, and we can kind of talk about that through the courage part. But let's start with, what does courage mean to you? What's your definition of courage?
I thought about this while I was reading through your notes, and all I can phrase it as is just doing the next right thing. I think that's the simplest, easiest way to say, just do the next right thing.
I love that. Simple and easy.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to think twice about it. So you've had an interesting life, the parts I've heard, and you've got a nonprofit, you have a store, you have a ton of kids, you've given back, you're going to school. They say, if you need something done, give it to a busy person. And you sure as heck is that busy person. So tell us, some of the courage things you've done about the nonprofit, the store, how that evolved, and
sure.
Just tell your story.
Well, yeah, I'll start from that part of our story. In 2020, we ended up adopting 2 kids from foster care, and our journey had started in 2017. And I wrote a blog post about it if you ever want to go back, but I know this is only a 30-minute podcast, so I'll save you the whole story.
Well, where do you find your blog posts? Just so people know.
Considerthefields.com. Yep. Okay. There's a whole list of our foster care journey and what we went through and how we experienced it really through, I wrote it in real time, a lot of it. And so I had 4 biological kids already. So we have 7 altogether. My husband has a daughter. She's my bonus baby. And then we have 4 together. And so when we started down this foster care journey, I had already felt in my heart there were 2 kids that we needed to adopt. I didn't know who they were. I didn't know where they were. And so we just needed to feel safe. And so we told the Lord, we'll never foster and it'll never be local. And within 2 weeks, we were signed up to be therapeutic foster parents. And our yes was from the next closest city, Roanoke.
Wow. Of course. So things we say I'll never do that usually God laughs at.
That's exactly what happened. And so going through the system and trying to get those kids reunited and seeing addiction and abuse and a broken system, it shattered our hearts. And that was our first experience hands-on, with that. And so our kiddos that we said yes to our one little boy, and he had a sister, and she also needed a home by the end of the 2 years. We adopted both of them, and that was 2020. And so we had to close our home to foster care. Our family was broken. We were exhausted, the trauma, the pain that we had all gone through. And so closing our home, I knew it was the right thing to do, but my heart was broken because you can't unsee the problem, right?
Right.
And so my answer to that was, well, what can we do? And so I literally had a dream that I had twins. And the reason, this is after 6 kids, right? 7 kids. And so I knew it was the Lord, because in the dream, I was happy that I found out I was having twins. And so I knew that was impossible, but I kept trying to convince everybody that, no, this is a good thing. This is a good thing. And I came to understand that Consider the Fields and Project Hope were my next babies, and so Consider the Fields is our store. And we started as just an online t-shirt club. And we said, hey, listen, we want to create a long-term, a faith-based home for women to be able to recover from addiction and abuse with their children. If we can get those kids back to them, then we will not see families, if we can help them make better choices, if we can see them unite, if we can reunify them and give them the tools that they need and the option to make a better choice. That's going to be our invitation. That's going to be our goal. And that's where Project Hope came from, which is healing, opportunity, purpose, and education. And that's our goal for these women in the program, to have those opportunities and to get that start, to have that safe place and get those kiddos back to them whenever safely possible. So those are my twins.
That's awesome. I love it. Well, let's talk about Consider the Fields. It's such a fun store. I really wish I lived more local, could come play there more often. And such a fun store that I actually have somebody on my team that was going through a rough time. And there was a devotion I'd gotten there. I was able to connect with you. She picked up the book, I paid for it, and it was a great way to gift something to somebody local. Yes. I know you could probably send it too. But so your store has shirts, earrings, devotional stickers, it's just like so much fun. Lots of cool stuff, a lot of it Christian based. And I love your t-shirt club and your earring club. So talk about those two things that you've done.
Right. So that was the invitation that we gave. I had no idea how people would like it, but I always was like the t-shirt girl. I thought, like, if our family went on a vacation, I had to put my kids in t-shirts, really so I could count them and find them, But even for like our extended family, if we would go on a vacation, I just wanted to, get that picture with everyone together. And we have photos of our adoption day. We all have like matching t-shirts on, and like it takes the village. So that's where it started. And I thought, what if we just invite other people to partner with us on this journey? And so we started asking, do you want to be a part of our t-shirt club? And so for $27 a month, you get a new t-shirt. It's our t-shirt club always has a scripture on it somewhere hidden in there, or it might be the front, it might be the whole thing. Like, it's different every month. But then we unpack it in a Bible study online. You could even join that if you want. And then we just added the earrings about 16, 18 months ago. So you could pick one or all three. You could pick one or the other. And so people were saying yes. And that was our community. That's our village. The people that are supporting us month after month, they get a new package in the mail that has a t-shirt and earrings. There's your outfit. You pair it with jeans or a jacket and a cardigan, and you're good to go. And so it has really been our sustainer as we got the store off the ground and opening the brick and mortar. That just happened last November. We haven't even officially been open a year yet. So we're so grateful for the local support and having a home-based location, but it's taking time to ramp that up, especially in such a difficult economic and political season. So the support from the community is amazing, but it's really the t-shirt club that is, and the earrings and our Bible study. Any one of those is sustaining us with that monthly support and those people constantly coming in. It's just really beautiful to watch. We have people from Texas and Pennsylvania and a huge New York showing because of our
Of
family at
course.
home that just wants to help, but they can't be there with us, you know. So my sister's been in it since the beginning, and you know, she cuts her shirts every month and wears them to volleyball and all the things like that. And so it's just people showing up and doing what they can, and that's why we say everyone can do something.
And that's so true. And just a little bit, and people want to help, and people, I've been involved with lots of nonprofits and things, and people always ask the question, like, how do I get involved? How do I help? And so it's knowing, and people may not have time, especially those
Yes.
moms like you that have all these kids and lots going on. You don't physically have time, but you have funds, and you have, $27 a month and
Yes.
gives you a cute t-shirt, which I love, and the earrings. And so, yeah, I definitely need to get involved in the t-shirt of the month club.
I
Um,
love it. It's so sweet.
yeah.
And full fun fact, just 2 months ago, we actually have an option for the guys because some of our mamas wanted to be a part, you know, but then either the closet gets full, or what if you're not a t-shirt person? Well, you can buy for your kids now instead.
Oh,
So like if you
cool.
want to transfer, yes. And our guy shirts are phenomenal. So
Okay. And I know you
actually,
said you're gonna help me with V-neck shirts because I prefer a V-neck.
yes,
So
I
we're gonna
know
work
you
on that.
do.
And I've
Yes, we're
told
gonna make,
several people about that. And it's interesting. I was not a big t-shirt girl
yes.
until probably COVID happened. And then it's like,
Mhm.
you can really express, people are more casual. You can express things. And I love, we have t-shirts for Why Not Today. And so being able to share that. The other fun thing you did, and I think you're doing it again next week, and I'm so bummed that I'm not there, and I'm gonna beg you and twist your arm into doing it when I'm gonna be there, is your do it yourself t-shirt and earring event.
Yes.
So much fun. So you're not
Yes.
only selling stuff, supporting a cause, but you're building community, which I love,
Yes.
and connections. And you know what? I've really found, especially women these days, are just hurting. They're lonely. Life is hard, and we need that community and connection. So you've got the t-shirts, the earrings, and then the Bible study you can get involved with, and
Mhm.
going to your store. It's like, I loved going in there. I felt like I was just hanging out with a friend.
Oh, I'm so glad. Our people are amazing. I have some girls that work for me and with me, and they are just there to make it happen. My daughter Abby, you know, she's just starting out and she's learning so many things, and just to support. And the goal is to serve our people. They understand that we're building relationship with people, that God is sending the people to our store, and our job is just to serve them. And that's probably the highest compliment that I can get, is when a customer comes in saying they just love being with us and they feel like they're home and their family.
Yeah, it's just a very welcoming store, and you guys are all welcoming. I love your daughter. Got to meet her, and yeah, it's just all the things you do in there are just very fun and welcoming. And
Thank
so your Project Hope. So where your store is actually a house, which I know there's a whole story behind that. But
you.
that is that where you envision the Project Hope women to be in
Okay,
that
so these are our first steps. That's a great question. Thank you so much. And you know what? Project Hope has a website. It's called projecthopeishere.com. If
house? Okay.
anybody does want to go check that out.
And I'll
And
share all those things in the show notes too.
yeah, thank you. And that shows a little bit about, you know, our vision for Project Hope. And so because we don't have the long-term home right now, we have our eye on some land. The bottom line is we have been finishing the store and renovating it. So as we open those front rooms, so for like Thursday night, we're practicing, right? We're opening those doors to the front rooms where people can come in and have that coffee, and they're designing their shirts and we're pressing them on site. We're creating earrings. You can sit there with a friend. You can come by yourself and make a friend. But the whole point is we want to be getting those women in for, because we don't have the home right now. we have connections with like Piedmont in our local community, where these women who are in the outpatient programs, we want to be bringing them into the store at least one day a week and working with them. We want to be teaching them how to make the earrings, how to make bath bombs, how to dress for a job. You know, it's got the full kitchen in there, so we can be teaching them and showing them, how do you balance a checkbook? How do you make macaroni and cheese for your kiddos? Wherever the need is, that's our intention of training these women. And above all things, letting them know that they're not alone and somebody is rooting for them. So our earring girl, Christy, is phenomenal. She just moved from Pennsylvania a couple years ago, and her story is so beautiful. God just sent her here, I'm so sure, for me. And so her job before COVID in Pennsylvania was taking mops into the women's prison.
Oh, wow.
And her heart is for these women. And so she is just chomping at the bit to get these women in here and just start talking, because they have the mantra, like busy hands, open heart. You know, if you can get somebody working on something, their heart will open up. I know that really resonates with you and the way that you live. And yeah, so I love how we have all these common connections, but those are the people that God is bringing to us to say, like, let's all pitch in and use our gifts and talents to bring healing into our community.
Yeah. And so many things you can do and lift up women and, you know, in crisis, but also just in general, you know, just to be able to lift up and help and teach women. Part of my mission is promote myself as a courage coach, you know, through the podcast, but also through my Mary Kay business, being able to help women, give them courage and confidence and make them feel better about themselves. Just a new lipstick or something just to make them feel good.
It makes a difference. This is what God has been sharing with me about how multi-purpose he really is. That I used to think like, okay, t-shirts, you know, you really want me to do t-shirts? I mean, how spiritual is that? And now I'm seeing like the difference that it makes. T-shirts and earrings and Bible studies, sure, they encourage my heart, they encourage your heart. You know, so many of the women are like, this is exactly what I needed to hear, or how do you get the right shirt month after month? And I'm like, only the Lord would come up with something that blesses you and me, and also has a bigger purpose and a vision that's bringing hope and healing to community. Like, that's the multi-purpose God that we serve.
Yeah. And what it does is when you wear the shirt, people notice it. It's a conversation starter. People can talk about the mission. And I love that you have a sheet that talks about Project Hope. That the book that I bought, it was the
the bookmark.
The bookmark for me. Yeah, exactly. And you have cool stickers and different things. So yeah, lots of cool stuff you're doing. I'm excited about that. So any other courage stories you want to share, things you've done or seen, and I definitely need to connect with Christy to talk about her story for the podcast.
Yeah, that's going to be so exciting. One thing I did want to encourage anyone who's listening, because I know that they don't know me very well or anything like that. So I just want to share really quick. It was just over 2 years ago, and I think we talked about this a little bit, where I had gotten, you know, the dreadful C word, and then I got pneumonia from that. Ooh. And I almost did not recover. Like, I just didn't. Yeah, and I have no issues, no nothing. And I'm 40 years old, literally, at this time, with 6 kids at home, struggling to survive. And so that's why I get short of breath sometimes. Sorry, I'm still working on that.
Didn't notice it.
Okay, great. Look at it. Look how far we've come. But 2 months after that happened, I lost over 85% of my hair within 40 within a month. And it was devastating. So not only could I not breathe, I could not walk out of the house. Like, I lived in beanies, and, you know, I had to get a hairpiece and, you know, be brave for my kids and still try to recover when there were days I didn't even want to. And so coming out of the woods of that and looking back and seeing what the last 2 years have done, I just felt in my heart to encourage who is ever listening that you can still do the next right thing, right? There were days I did not want to get out of bed, and there are days that it didn't even seem like it was worth it. And sometimes I still struggle with that when I can't breathe. And yes, this is all my original hair now, but it took 2 years to grow it back, right? And so even in the darkness, a lot of times the best thing we can do is turn around and serve somebody else. And get our eyes off of our own problems and do the thing that I couldn't fix my hair and I couldn't fix my lungs, but I could keep doing something and I could keep offering an invitation and try to keep growing this for somebody else.
That is so, so true. And I know that, we don't always have uh, days that are unicorn and roses and everything is
Yes.
perfect. And we do, even those of us that are positive and have a lot going on, we have bad days.
Yes.
And being able to give back to somebody else and to serve and just little things. I remember during that 2020 year that I had a really bad day, and it was scary for me running my own
Yes.
business and what was I going to do? But I remember one day in particular, it was one of those days I got up and just wasn't feeling very good. And was purposeful during that whole process to get up and do my hair and do my makeup and shower. Well, this one day I just didn't feel like it. Wasn't feeling. And so finally I was just in such a funk. And I finally took a shower, did my hair, did my makeup, put on some fun jewelry, and went to the dollar store. And it was in February. So I remember I just went and bought a stack of Valentine's cards. And I just came home and just sent them to all the
Yes.
people I knew. And I'm just like, who can I bless?
So
And
good.
you know what? When you give back, you feel better and you're going to be blessed and you get out of your funk and you're making a difference for somebody else. I was talking about this to somebody the other day that unfortunately was just in a bad place. And I'm like, who can you go give to? Who can you go
Yes.
serve? What can you do? And I think we need to be there, for our friends and be watching out for,
Yes.
people that are going through stuff like with you, to have somebody to have dropped off food or just a little love or, those little things we can do
Yes.
that don't need to cost you money. And yeah, they may take some time, but you can even do a simple thing and send a card to someone, in the
Absolutely.
mail with a fun sticker and a fun stamp and just make a difference.
I love it.
And you're doing all those things. So I love it. So I always ask you, what would you say to encourage somebody? Anything other than just do the next best thing?
So yeah, what was your question? I'm so sorry,
Yeah,
I wrote some.
that's okay. Just to encourage somebody to be courageous.
Yeah, to me, I thought about that story of where, Jesus is out there with his disciples and they're in the storm and the boat is rocking and Peter wants to get out of the boat, and he was like, Lord, if this is you, then bid me to come to you. And when we feel like those storms are coming, what did Jesus say? Like, come on, get out on the water, in the middle of the storm. And Peter climbed out of that boat. And so it's not going to be it's never going to be,
No,
smooth sailing, and that boats, there's never going to be a perfect time, but there always is this moment, right? You said, why not today, right?
right. Why not
So
today?
that he climbed out of that boat. And so I think a lot of times we talk ourselves out of it before we get there. And that's why we say do the next right thing, right? And
Right.
everyone can do something. You don't have time. Okay, fine. Join the t-shirt club. You don't have, the effort to put in, sign up one time and then you can just go.
Yep.
We
Yeah.
can all do something.
Yeah. And it's just doing the thing, just like, and we're so bad. It's like, all right, should I do this? And ask 20
Yes.
people. And we ask the
Yes.
opinions of people we don't even care about. And we think
Yes.
about it and we pray about it. I'm like, listen to the first voice that said, do it
Yes.
and just
Yes.
do it.
We
Count down five,
overthink
four,
it.
three, two, one, and just do it.
Yes, we
Yeah.
overthink it until we talk ourselves out of it. And now what are we like going to do? Listen to the news a little bit longer or, some more hardship? No, we don't
No,
need that. We need to
no,
be
we don't.
taking action on the things we know that we should be doing.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Well, I always try to connect back to my dad, and that was an easy peasy one from the very beginning. Batavia connection, and you're the second person I've met from Batavia. And the other person I met, who is a great friend of mine now, her father-in-law worked with my dad when he did the redevelopment of Batavia. So going back to that,
So
and
cool.
yeah, you've just got a big heart and my dad was an only child and hated it. And so I am one of six kids. And every other kid, and we didn't adopt any. They're all six biologic, but every holiday, if anybody didn't have a place to go, they were always invited. So our
Yes.
house always the open place. And sounds like kind of Consider the Fields, and I'm probably your personal home is the same way.
Yes,
Everybody can just go and
100%.
knock on the door and be there. So,
100%.
well, I'm excited with this episode coming out. And I'm going to chime in and we'll share on social media exactly. I'm going to come to the store and we are going to have some Why Not Today stuff. So we've got Why Not Today t-shirts with their signature teal color.
Yes.
And the logo on here, for those listening and don't know, this is my dad's logo. He had an eye patch on handlebar mustache. So that's logoed with it. And then we have cups that I'm going to have there and some stickers. So we're going to have some cool things. And one of the ideas I've had with Why Not Today, and I think this is a perfect time to kick it off, is I am all about giving back and contributing. So we are going to do anybody that buys a Why Not Today t-shirt or cup, any Why Not Today swag from the debut of this podcast, probably a month or maybe even through the holidays, that a percentage is going to go back to Project Hope. So anybody that buys a t-shirt, buys a cup, we're going to give back. And we're going to start a t-shirt club of our own with Why Not Today t-shirts, and every month have a new charity to be able to share. So we're going to kick it off with you. And yeah, we'll find out exactly when I can be there because of course I'm not local. But then we will connect and we'll have some stuff there, and I'll be in the store if anybody wants to come in and meet me. And just would love to meet some of your customers and friends and followers. So yay.
So wonderful.
All right. Well, thank you for being my guest. Any closing remarks? Anything we missed?
Oh, I'm so grateful to be here. Thanks for letting me share my story.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for sharing it. So you can find the Why Not Today podcast at our website, which is whynottodaypodcast.com. We're on Spotify and iTunes and Google and all the places. So listen, like it, review it, share it with a friend. And as I always say, just say, why not today? Just do it. All right. Thanks a lot for being my guest.